Gentlemen, allow me to pose a direct question. What if the very manner in which you have engaged in self-touch for decades is now silently harming your circulation, placing strain on your prostate, and even diminishing testosterone beyond the age of 60? Many men rarely stop to consider such a possibility. They presume that what functioned at 25 will naturally continue to serve at 65. Yet the reality is that the body undergoes profound transformation over time. Blood vessels become narrower, skin grows more fragile, nerves respond with slower precision, and persisting with outdated practices may actually condition the body to work against enjoyment rather than toward it. Countless men arrive at consultations with the same unspoken concerns: diminished response, weaker satisfaction, increasing challenges with intimacy, and a lingering private question: could something be wrong with me? The truthful answer is almost always no. The real difficulty is that few individuals are ever guided on how to safely adapt their habits as they grow older. For decades, no one teaches them that the methods suitable for youth require adjustment in later life. Self-stimulation, when approached with awareness, is not only natural, but can also serve as one of the most effective ways to sustain health past 60. Engaged properly, it enhances circulation, reduces stress hormones, and even supports restful sleep. Yet this is only true if one practices in a manner aligned with age-related changes. When old routines persist without adjustment, the very activity intended for release can gradually erode vitality. Today, I will reveal 3 of the most common errors men over 60 commit in relation to self-pleasure mistakes that gradually weaken sensitivity, stress delicate tissues, and leave one more frustrated than fulfilled. More importantly, I will also present safe, evidence-based methods to maintain responsiveness, preserve confidence, and safeguard long-term health. Before we proceed, consider offering your perspective. Indicate with a simple yes if you believe men over 60 require such candid health guidance, or no if you feel it unnecessary. Share also your location, as it is continually inspiring to witness men from every corner of the globe participating in the same pursuit of knowledge. This discussion carries no element of shame. It is centered solely on understanding, for if you remain unaware of what transpires within your own body, you cannot take measures to protect it. And once small adjustments are introduced, the difference is often experienced almost immediately. Within the following minutes, you will learn why rushing, applying excessive force, and neglecting emotional well-being can each compromise physical response. You will also be shown how to address these issues directly. And should you remain until the conclusion, I will share a specific routine that I personally recommend to older men, which reliably sustains healthy circulation and renewed confidence into their 70s. Let us examine the 3 primary mistakes often observed. The first mistake is rushing through the act. Numerous men regard self-pleasure as a task to be completed swiftly, often performed secretly, distracted, or even while holding their breath. This hurried approach places the nervous system in a state of stress. Blood vessels tighten, the heartbeat rises with tension, and the body fails to enter the relaxed mode essential for genuine arousal. Instead of enriching the body through healthy circulation, the brain becomes conditioned to associate touch with tension. Over time, this makes arousal more elusive and gratification less complete. One older gentleman once explained he could never fully unwind. By practicing slower rhythm and incorporating deliberate breathing exercises, he regained significant sensation and, quite notably, improved sleep that very same night. The second mistake involves applying too much pressure. This error is especially widespread as natural sensitivity diminishes with age. Many men assume the solution is to grip harder, move faster, or exert greater force. Yet the organ in question is not designed for such treatment. It is composed of delicate blood vessels, fragile nerves, and tender connective tissue. Consistent excessive pressure creates friction and irritation, leading to what some describe as a conditioned dependence on one form of stimulation alone, rendering response with a partner increasingly difficult. Furthermore, such force may result in microtears, inflammation, or even numbing sensations. Imagine squeezing a garden hose tightly. The flow of water is obstructed. In a similar way, overpressure reduces circulation and responsiveness. Gentle, steady contact, aided by a fragrance-free natural lubricant, proves far more effective than sheer force. The third mistake is ignoring one's emotions. This point surprises many, yet emotional state profoundly affects physical function. Decades of quiet shame often accompany the subject, sometimes instilled by cultural messages in youth, sometimes rooted in frustration over age-related changes. This burden of guilt does not remain only in thought. It manifests physically through muscular tension, shallow breathing, and nervous system strain. It generates tightness in the pelvic floor, constriction within blood vessels, and ultimately obstructs the ability to relax fully and embrace sensation. Some men in later years have recognized that unspoken guilt had weighed upon them for decades, even though self-pleasure is entirely natural and beneficial. Once they began acknowledging their emotions with compassion, honest dialogue, or quiet acceptance, their physical response improved markedly. The essential point is clear: rushing instills tension, excessive force damages sensitive tissues, and suppressed emotion undermines relaxation and receptivity. The positive news is that each of these errors can be reversed. With minor adjustments, the body can be retrained, sensitivity restored, and confidence renewed. The next stage involves simple changes that may be implemented immediately. Slowing the pace is the first and perhaps most powerful modification. Rather than hurrying, set aside 10 to 15 minutes free of distraction. Turn off the television, silence the phone, and allow the body to arrive in the present moment. Take several deep breaths, expanding the chest and abdomen, then exhale fully. This action signals the nervous system to transition from stress mode into rest mode, promoting open blood vessels and heightened sensitivity. Even a brief pause before beginning often yields noticeable improvement. The second adjustment is the use of lubrication. Though often overlooked, this simple measure is crucial. With advancing age, skin becomes thinner, natural moisture declines, and friction without assistance not only lessens sensation, but may cause irritation or small injuries. A mild, fragrance-free water-based lubricant reduces tissue strain and supports healthy circulation, much as appropriate footwear protects joints during movement. The third change is variation in technique. Reliance on the identical grip and motion for decades conditions the body in restrictive ways. By loosening grip, experimenting with slower rhythms, or focusing more on sensations rather than outcome, one may discover renewed responsiveness. Some even find that employing the non-dominant hand resets the nervous system, heightening awareness. The goal should never be mere intensity but rather sensitivity and presence. Fourth, incorporate mindful breathing. Many hold their breath unknowingly, which heightens body tension and limits oxygen delivery. Instead, coordinate touch with steady breathing. Inhale deeply through the nose and exhale slowly through the mouth. This rhythm calms the nervous system and maintains open vessels. With repetition, the body becomes retrained to associate self-care with relaxation rather than strain. The fifth adjustment is to create routine. As with exercise or stretching, benefits arise from consistency. Select a time of day when interruption is unlikely. For some, early morning proves effective, as the body is naturally more responsive. For others, evening practice releases tension and enhances sleep. A regular, relaxed routine sustains circulation, supports prostate health, and strengthens bodily connection. Finally, heed the body's signals. Should pain, swelling, burning, or numbness arise, do not force continuation. These are indicators of irritation, circulatory strain, or potential underlying issues. In such instances, pause and seek medical consultation if necessary. Attentiveness to such signs protects long-term health. These adjustments, though simple, can transform experience. One older man once believed his most satisfying years were behind him. After only 2 modifications, slowing his pace and introducing lubrication, he rediscovered sensation, renewed intimacy with his partner, and regained confidence. The challenge now is straightforward. Attempt just one change. Perhaps slow down with deep breaths. Perhaps apply lubrication, or perhaps soften the grip. Observe the body's response. Often improvement is evident within a single occasion. Before exploring long-term strategies, reflect on this question. If given the choice to enhance one area, now circulation, sensitivity, or relaxation, which would it be? Sharing such reflections contributes to a collective sense of progress and reminds others that they are not alone. Short-term adjustments create quick improvements, yet protecting circulation, sensitivity, and confidence for years requires long-term strategies. These habits support natural function daily, building a durable foundation. The first of these strategies is regular physical activity, particularly forms that enhance circulation. Walking at a brisk pace for 30 minutes, cycling moderately, or practicing light resistance exercises all contribute to healthier blood vessels. Strong circulation produces better response across all systems, including sexual health. Studies have indicated that consistent aerobic activity reduces the likelihood of erectile difficulties by nearly a third. Consider such exercise as training the vessels to remain flexible, much like maintaining muscle strength through repeated use. The second long-term strategy is strengthening the pelvic floor. Many assume this is relevant only for women, yet research shows otherwise. For men, training these muscles enhances erectile performance and bladder control. The movement is simple. Contract the same muscles used to halt urination, maintaining the squeeze for a few seconds, then release. Practicing daily for several minutes fortifies the base of pelvic circulation, improves endurance, and grants greater control. Nutrition forms the third essential habit. Blood vessels, as living tissue, respond directly to what is consumed. Diets, heavy in refined sugars, alcohol, or saturated fats, increase inflammation and hinder blood flow. By contrast, leafy greens, beets, berries, nuts, and other foods rich in natural nitrates and antioxidants expand vessels and improve responsiveness. Adequate hydration with plain water throughout the day further supports efficiency in circulation. The fourth habit is stress management. Persistent stress elevates cortisol, a hormone that constricts blood vessels and depresses testosterone. This combination depletes energy, reduces sensitivity, and undermines mood and confidence. Activities such as meditation, controlled breathing, or even time spent outdoors help reset stress levels. Many underestimate how directly mental condition affects physical function, yet the connection is undeniable. Consider an older man who felt increasingly detached from his body. He admitted to relying on outdated routines that no longer worked, and he carried frustration over the impact on intimacy. Beginning with short-term changes brought small improvements, yet the greater transformation occurred once long-term habits were established. Daily walks, more vegetables and nuts in meals, and routine pelvic exercises produced marked results. Within months he experienced stronger circulation, improved rest, and renewed confidence, along with a revitalized emotional connection with his partner. Such stories illustrate that meaningful change remains possible at any age. Though the body no longer responds as it once did in youth, it continues to respond. With steady care, gradual progress accumulates. Long-term vitality arises from exercise, balanced nutrition, pelvic conditioning, and stress management. These are not temporary tricks, but enduring methods of living that preserve circulation, stabilize hormones, and sustain confidence well into advanced years. To consolidate the lessons covered, recall the following progression. Self-pleasure past 60 remains beneficial. It protects circulation, supports prostate function, lowers stress, and aids rest. Yet the body has changed, and the approach must evolve as well. 3 errors are particularly common: rushing, which teaches the brain to remain tense; applying excessive pressure, which damages fragile tissues and limits sensitivity; and disregarding emotions, which creates hidden tension that obstructs both pleasure and confidence. Practical short-term solutions include slowing the pace with intentional breathing, using lubrication to reduce friction, varying technique to retrain responsiveness, aligning touch with mindful breathing, and creating a consistent routine free of distraction. These measures restore sensitivity, promote relaxation, and transform self-care into a positive experience. Long-term strategies involve sustaining overall health. Regular exercise keeps vessels elastic and reliable. Pelvic floor practice strengthens foundational support. Nutritious food choices protect against inflammation and encourage blood flow. Managing stress ensures hormones and the nervous system function in harmony rather than in opposition. These practices combine to form a structure of resilience that endures well beyond 60. From men who adopted such measures come clear outcomes: improved responsiveness, renewed intimacy, restored confidence, better rest, and a stronger sense of connection with themselves and their partners. The essential message is this: you are not broken, nor beyond your prime. Instead, you are entering a stage of life that demands greater care and intention. With consistent, modest choices, the body can remain responsive, circulation strong, and confidence intact. Whenever you set aside a moment for self-care, approach it with patience and awareness. Release guilt, abandon unnecessary force, and grant the body respect, it is capable of continuing to respond, to feel, and to deliver satisfaction. The challenge for today is straightforward. Adopt one change. Slow your pace and practice deliberate breathing. Introduce lubrication to protect sensitive tissue, or practice a few pelvic contractions to strengthen foundational muscles. Observe how the body responds. Improvement is often noticeable almost immediately. Reflect also on which long-term habit you feel most able to begin, whether it is exercise, improved diet, pelvic conditioning, or stress reduction. The choice to start strengthens both physical health and personal confidence. Sharing such commitments with others may encourage someone else to take their own first step. The material we have covered demonstrates a central truth. Care taken in later years is not about limitation, but about preservation and renewal. Every adjustment, whether immediate or gradual, contributes to maintaining vitality. With each choice, you reinforce circulation, protect essential functions, and foster a sense of assurance that continues well into advanced age. As you integrate these lessons, remember that such advice is educational and not prescriptive. Every individual's health remains unique, and consultation with a trusted professional is always recommended before significant changes. Yet within this framework lies a hopeful message. Through intention, attention, and consistent action, it is possible to sustain strength, preserve responsiveness, and maintain dignity and pleasure in life's later seasons. Remain steadfast, remain informed, and above all, care for yourself with respect. Continue forward with awareness and patience, and allow your body to reveal that vitality, satisfaction, and fulfillment remain entirely within reach.